My name is Scott Heiner. I'm the chairman of the Martin Heiner Family Organization, and we welcome you all. This is a great turnout. We're really excited. We're going to, first of all, I'd like to, let me just go ahead and have a roll call, Kimberly. I'd like to have the secretary and treasurer is Kimberly Heiner Farmer. She's going to do a roll call of who came from which family group.
Hello, we are excited to appreciate everyone who's involved in getting this together. But we do want to do a quick roll call to recognize the line of all of Martin Heiner's children. Do we have any, if you are from that line, just raise your hand, make noise. If you are from Anthony Heiner, well represented. John Heiner, gotta shout a little louder. Daniel Heiner, George Heiner, Mary Christina, Amelia Heiner. I see no one from Amelia. Elizabeth Christina, and Suzanne and Catherine. We need to find these people from Suzanne's line. Susanna.
Don't forget this one.
That's right. Martin Heiner's half-sister, Christina Maria Heiner Dittmore, also immigrated. We have some in the back. Great. The Dittmore. Thank you for coming, and I'll turn it back over.
The opening song, in the program you should have the Kathleen Lindsay is our music director, and is Stan Fisher here? Okay. Stan, where? Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn the time over to Kathleen for the opening song, and then I've got Doyle Munt will give the opening prayer. And just for my information is, yeah, Gary's here. Okay. Doyle is from Mary Christina, no, John. Doyle comes from John Heiner, and he will represent the oldest son of Martin Heiner. And then Gary Dittmore will represent the nephew of Martin Heiner, which is Heinrich Dittmore. Okay, Kathleen.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
My name is Adelgunde Heiner, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. I jumped in a time travel box and came here to make sure you are all doing all the right things, and I'm so proud of all of you. My greatest joy is my family. In the last 2 weeks, I have poured through histories of the Heiner family, and my heart has been very grateful. Speaking for Adelgunde, I'd like to tell you, I memorized the New Testament, and when the missionaries came to teach my husband Martin and I, the words they spoke rang true, and I knew what they were saying was true, that the restoration of the gospel had come on the earth. And in spite of being deathly ill, breaking the ice, I was baptized in December. Later, having more children and coming to Morgan, Utah, in the tops of the mountains, where we raised our family. Ich weiß, dass mein Erlöser lebt und dass Jesus der Christus ist. Ich weiß, dass das Buch Mormon wahr ist. Ich bin dankbar für meine Heiner-Familie. Ich hoffe, dass wir alle Glaublichen treu werden. In Namen Jesu Christus. Amen. Let's all stand and sing High on a Mountaintop, where the Heiner family came and proclaimed the truthfulness of the gospel and lived it to its fullest. Thank you, dear cousins.
Our Father in heaven, we're very thankful to be here as family. We thank Thee for our heritage, for their recognizing the truth and passing it on to us. We thank Thee for their trials and many things that they went through to ensure us a knowledge of the gospel, a testimony of the gospel. We thank Thee we have that. We thank Thee for us recognizing, paying tribute to our fathers and our fathers to us. We thank Thee for our fathers and our posterity. We pray that we will be more diligent in our efforts to seek out and do our work. We pray that Thy Spirit will be with us today, that we can learn and develop our lives. Thank Thee for the presentations and other things. We pray that we will learn and glory in those. Thank Thee for all of those who are taking part and making this a good effort. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
I want to give you a little bit of an introduction of how all this came about. When I was, even as a young man, a teenager, I was interested in family history. And I helped my grandmother do genealogy research. And when I found out the Heiners came from Germany, I wanted to know all about Germany. And I always wanted to go to Germany. I wanted to take German in high school, but they didn't offer it. But my younger brother did take it. I was jealous of him. But in 2011, I finally had the chance to visit Germany. And my goal was to go to the town where Martin Heiner was born. And Martin Heiner was born in Waldorf, Germany, that was formerly East Germany. And his wife, Adelgunde Dietzel, was born in Vlissingen. Now, Vlissingen is only 3 miles north of Waldorf. So I went there to Waldorf and met the head of the Historical Association there. Had a wonderful visit, and we went to a restaurant and had German Klöße, which is the potato dumplings, and we'll learn a little more about the famous potato dumplings. But I didn't make it to Vlissingen, where Adelgunde was born. And
it's wonderful.
Anyway, so, but through that contact, I made, the lady I did meet, through that contact, Mr. Eberhard Wolf, sent a letter to me and got in touch with me, and there was a big exchange of information between our Heiner family and these historians from Vlissingen. I'd like to introduce our guests today. Eberhard, come on up, all 4 of you. This is Eberhard Wolf.
Hello, guten Tag. Guten Morgen.
We've been pen pals, well, email pals, since 2011.
Yes.
And we send, every time he goes on a vacation, he sends me pictures of his vacation. You went to Taiwan last year, didn't you?
Yes.
3 years ago.
3 years.
Okay, 3 years ago. Well, anyway, you like to travel, that's good, I do too. And I want to go back to Germany, and this time I will go to Vlissingen.
I hope so.
This is his wife, Petra. Would you like to say something?
Guten Tag, ich bin Petra. Ich bin hier seit 3 Tagen und mir gefällt es hier sehr, sehr gut. It's very fine.
And this is Christina Wolf.
My personal translator.
You prefer to be Chrissy, though. Yeah, you can call her Chrissy Wolf. And your boyfriend is Stefan Thomas. And he's also a personal translator. I understand that, as I said, Vlissingen was in former East Germany, communist Germany, and Eberhard had to learn Russian in high school. And, well, he speaks good English, I think. But we're going to hear from them later. I'd like to have Joanne Heiner Blood come up and give us, a month ago, about 5 weeks ago, Joanne Heiner Blood, who comes from Martin Heiner, and Anthony, she visited Vlissingen and met these people, and she knows a lot more about it than I do. So I'm going to have you give us a summary, and go ahead and take all the time you want. Thank you very much.
Well, Scott really missed out by not going that 3 miles to Washington. But he'll make up for it. Well, as we were traveling towards Washington, I was just mesmerized by the beautiful countryside, the beautiful homes. And as we came into Washington, the spirit just overwhelmed me, and I was filled with tears because I had had the opportunity to come back to the roots of our ancestors. And we called Eberhard, and he came right over. He knew we were coming, and he and his friend, who's also a historian, Uta, showed us through the museum where they had the display that the brochure came from. And then they took us on a walking tour of Washington, which was so amazing. He pointed out Adelgunde, I can never say her name right because I thought it Adelgunde all my life, but I found out that is incorrect. Anyway, where her grandfather lived, there was a home, he showed us that. And then we came upon this little house that I absolutely loved. It had flowers and the owner was outside and we talked to her. And then just up the street was the schoolhouse. And we went by the schoolhouse, it was unoccupied and we weren't able to go in it. But then we came back and he stopped us at that home again. And he said, Adelgunde would not have had very far to go to school because this is her home. And I was so overwhelmed to know that that was the home that she and Martin met in, where he did his apprenticeship. And I was just, I can hardly speak. And I decided that Eberhard liked surprises because he gave us a couple. The next day, we were able to go to Waldorf, or not Waldorf, and see the church that our family association had donated to help rebuild it after the fire. I just want to say over here I have my computer running with all the pictures of Bossingen and Waldorf. German is like, okay, I didn't get those genes of speaking German. Anyway, so there's pictures over there and it shows the church where it's at. It's pretty much, the roof's on and they still have the whole inside. So they're just waiting for money and donations to continue working on it. I just thought it was such a marvelous opportunity for us. It was a trip of a lifetime and things just worked that we were able to go. And we had the best hostess to take us and tell us all about our ancestors. One other surprise that Eberhard gave us, we went to the church where Adelgunde and Martin would have been married and their children baptized. He showed us the font and we took pictures, they're over there. And there is a tower, clock tower, and we were hoping to go up it, and he said, well, we couldn't go up. And then he magically ended up being able to go and get the key, and we were able to climb up the clock tower and see all directions of the area. And he pointed out, he said, now see that far hill right along the top of that is where the Iron Curtain was. And so that was pretty interesting to see how close they were to where the Iron Curtain was. So that was, the second day was when we were able to go to Waldorf, and we saw many things. We saw the cemetery where they would have been buried, but in Germany they can only stay in their plot for 25 years, and then they are replaced. So it's where they were buried, but anyway, the cemetery was absolutely beautiful. There are pictures of those. And then his last surprise was he invited us to his home, he and Petra, for lunch. And they have a beautiful garden. Their whole backyard is their garden. And a very nice little patio that Petra made, zucchini soup that was absolutely delicious. And there's one ingredient that we can't figure out what it is in English. So we got to research that. I made some. I didn't tell you this yet, Petra. I made some, and it was delicious, but I don't think it was quite as delicious as yours, because it was missing that ingredient. Anyway, I am so grateful for the opportunity that I had to travel there and to meet the Wolves and Ulta, and it really made me want to seek out my ancestors more, and especially hear the stories, and I hope that we can, as a group, share the stories of maybe things that we don't have that we can share of the other siblings. And I say this in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
We have we've got Garth Heiner, who is, I believe, the oldest person named Heiner that I know. Garth is, he grew up in Wyoming, and you were kind of a cowboy, kind of a rebel. Anyway, Garth is going to give us a talk about the importance of the Heiners and the legacy of the Heiner family. And I grew up here in Morgan, and I used to home teach Garth's grandfather, and he just lives down two or three blocks down the way. So, go ahead, Garth.
Well, thank you very much. It's an amazing thing to look out at all of you, my cousins. We're all here for one purpose, and we're all united therefore. It's been quite a long journey since we started. When we first really knew nothing about Martin Heiner, and through the efforts of the whole family, this nice and close-knit family, we have found amazing things, including the Edelgun they lived in, and found out where Martin lived in Waldorf, the farm. So many amazing things. Back in those days, the king or the duke or the bishop owned everything. They owned the people, they owned the houses, they owned the tools. And so, for me at least, I would want to find Martin Luther's farm, and Martin Heiner's farm, but I find out that we did find his house, but they didn't own the land. They tilled the land, they had acreage they used, and he had a house in Waldorf, and there was a gate there where he could go behind and take his cows that pulled his wagon. It was an amazing thing, and for me, and not only that, but they would, he gave me information on the Napoleonic War and the effects of the Napoleonic War on Waldorf and Bossingen, and the 30 Years' War on Bossingen and Waldorf. The other thing that we found out, besides him being a weaver, you see, when we want to know about Martin Luther, Martin Heiner, we want to know about what was a weaver and those kind of things. You see, these slacks I'm wearing, I wore them just because they're linen slacks. Martin Heiner was a weaver of linen, and linen was a very important fabric throughout those ages, even through the Revolutionary War, and all the time they had sails, because all the sails of the ships were made out of linen. The tents, the uniforms, all these things were made out of linen. If you take one ship in the British ship in the Revolutionary War, it had 30,000 feet of linen for sails. You can think of the amount of weavers it would take. You'll see this, the film's going to show. It would take this process, and this is skilled labor. What we call skilled labor is you have to do it a lot of times, and practice and this kind of thing. Oh, there's a little girl out there. But it's been a real joy. And we know a lot about Martin Luther. The fact that he was a weaver helped him, even over here when he wasn't weaving, when he first came to Utah, and he lived out there in the wilds of the west there with Salt Lake, and watching these sheep. When the sheep would die, they would, let's go back just a second. All of the children of Martin Heiner who worked at other homes, all the time, the only home that those girls had that were alive before they came to the United States, the only home they ever had was the home in Bossingen. they got their schooling there. They had, well, Brother Wolf will tell you about that. But they got their schooling there. And when they came here, every place they lived in Pennsylvania and in Utah, those girls lived in somebody else's home. And they worked there. They were skilled, they could sew, they could knit, they knew how to weave and so forth to some degree. And, but they had, and that's how they lived when they got here. They never had a home until they got married. And out there in the wilds, why they would pull the sheep off the wool off the sheep, and they died in the winter, and then they would make thread. They knew how to make thread, and they would make thread, and then they would knit socks and clothes for the kids. So, something you may not know about, but Stefan is an attorney in Frankfurt. He works for Citibank. Is that right? And Chrissy, she's in Frankfurt. She takes care of the children of work that work for these banks. Is that right? And then Abraham and Petra, every email that I have sent there and received from him, it has both the name of, let's say Martin, Abraham.